strands, we make them shine, interwoven every time. Strength and beauty intertwined, mastery of frame and line. From our roots to the tip we weave, no twists or coils we believe. Each lock strong, it won't deceive. Microloc dreams we achieve. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe. Every strand feels so alive. Interwoven we arrive. Together we will thrive. Precision with our hands we know. Through the journey watch us grow. Interwoven gentle flow. Strong and steady watch it glow. No breaks or twists, just our way. Microlocs here, they will stay. Every strand a work of art, interwoven from the heart. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe. Every strand feels so alive. Interwoven we arrive. Together we will thrive. Precision with our hands we know. Through the journey watch us grow. Interwoven gentle flow. Strong and steady watch it glow. No breaks or twists, just our way. Microlocs here, they will stay. Every strand a work of art, interwoven from the heart. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe.
Hey y'all.
Every strand feels so alive.
Jamming to our new song courtesy of our sister Nicole. How's everybody doing? I'll let it ride out before we get into this. Hey, Happy New Year. New Year. And that song, before it plays again, that song was courtesy of our admin assistant. Hold on. I got a little, where are my other sound effects? Darn. Nicole. And she helped us, put this song together. So I like it. It's a little vibe. Let me know what you think of it. A song you heard in your intro. So this is my first live of 2025. How is everybody doing? How are y'all feeling? How was your start to the year? Let me know what's been going on. And also, I like to do a quick check to make sure sound and everything is good. We're going to go over some things today really quickly. So I want to make sure that you can all see and hear this information we're about to share. And it is going to be on 4 things needed to get your best Microlocs guaranteed. All right. So I'm doing good. You've been missing in action for a minute, but you're back. I'm glad you're back over on IG. Yeah. And I'm just hopping around the comments here. Okay. Listen, I sat long and hard and I was like, if I could narrow down the absolute things that people need to be able to get their best results in general for everyone, I narrowed it down to these 4 things based on student submissions, based on running this Microloc Mastery Training Program digitally online for 5 years now. This is our mini anniversary, and in person since 2010. So we've got 2010 was not 15 years ago, was it? So from the first in-person Microloc change, 15 years. I can't believe that. A little over 15 years and online for 5. I've narrowed it down. I like to give these little nuggets of information because I know how important it is to have some information that's consistent. I've been consistently sharing nuggets and gems starting on YouTube for many, many years. I had a little video I was going to cue up. I'll do maybe at the end. Well, I don't know who's an OG. I really doubt there's OG YouTube watchers that go back that far because I was gone for such a long time. But I was about to cue up a little quick video how I was talking about differences between microlocks and sister locks, like very early videos. Um, and I was like, "Do y'all remember?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure audience has probably changed. There's so much oversaturation now, but this was one of the most controversial videos I had put out. Um, and I just, when I find some stuff and I'm live, I'm like, I wonder, I kind of want to share because I feel like it'll bridge that gap between people who may be just hearing about me because I haven't been talking for a long time. Maybe some people who were like, whoa, I remember you from back in the day and be utilizing your information. And so the information, the messaging has been consistent because I want y'all to see these consistent results. And I want people who are in this for the long haul to be able um, to get the results that they desire for the long haul. Hey, over on YouTube, come on in. All right. So before I get to that, today is our first. It starts the first group coaching cycle. So if you are in a program tonight at 7 p.m., join us and our coaches. We start our free bonus 5-week coaching classes aimed at supporting students through their online courses and material. You can do that. You have many options of how you want to move through our program to get this information. Find the best combination for you. So if you're that person, you want access to online 24/7, but you also like the group setting and you also like direct access, this is going to be for you. So I wanted to just plug that in. Welcome all the new students that are enrolled. I'm going to go ahead and just check real quick on the Facebook group because your comments show up differently. And I know and for those of you who like to enter our, this is going to be for you. So hey, Valley. Yeah, I knew that I was missing some of y'all. Valine. I'm going to go ahead and put on the bottom of the screen how you can get into this free Facebook group. Because we are going to be kicking off some things for 2025. So just give me a moment and I'm going to go ahead and flash the link. It's going to go across the bottom and you just go ahead and join the Facebook group. Here you go. All right, freemicrologtraining.com/join. Okay, so I wanted to plug that. I also will be giving you some free resources at the end of this training. In addition to this. So this is one free resource. I'm going to give you 2 additional ones. So stay tuned at the end of this. But what we're getting ready to talk about right now are these 4 things that are needed to get your best Microlocs guaranteed. Take a moment if you like any of these tips, if they've been helpful for you, to like the video, to leave a comment, to push me back in the algorithm because it supports all those like-minded people who are about building skills and businesses on top quality results and technique and skills. This really supports us all when this information can go out and you don't have to fight so hard against the plethora of a lot of misinformation or missing gaps of information. All right. So if you like, smash, and share, that really helps. All right. So the first one that I want to get into, I think this is probably one of the more important ones. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play something in the background while I talk about this one. Yeah. And that is paying attention to detail. All right. So if you are, excuse me, hold on. If you are not focused on detail, this is when you're going to need to be a detail-oriented person, right? If you want to get precision results, if you want results that are noticeably more refined, you're going to have to pay attention to detail on every aspect. So certain things, this is how, and I already like detail, but when I was going through developing my skills, I had to continue to develop attention to detail, because there's a time where you may be rushing or where you're trying to do something quickly or you have a time crunch and things are not attended to, where things are left. They're not addressed, overlooked. Sometimes you see it and you're like, I'm act like I don't see it. It's that extra moment, that extra attention to detail that you place on that particular area, on that process, whatever it is, that's going to really matter in the long run, and it will be a noticeable difference as it accumulates. So what I was just showing was some of the student submissions that I pulled from recent. Some are mixed in recent, old. I did a quick one. We have so much more. Some I pulled from the ones that we were like, yeah, they look like they pay, they look really good. Even though that's a mannequin head, what we were looking for is a certain consistency, a certain tension along the lock, a certain amount of hair pulled in the lock. We were looking for not just focusing on a grid and bantu knots. Where look, that's not going to give me a good example of actually knowing how to do the process for it in the long haul, which I'm going to get to the next point in one moment. Actually, kind of ties, it goes right into one of the next points. But being able to have that eye. Okay, so paying attention to detail. The second part is actually understanding the locking process. So I'm trying to find a way to make sure I convey the message that I'm trying to say in a way that makes sense. Knowing the difference between an installation pick or tick capturing a process at the beginning and labeling it. So for instance, there are certain, we're gonna go to my third point. I'm trying to get to my third point yet. Understanding that what you put in will lead to the end result. So X plus Y equaling Z versus putting in something and then kind of letting it do its thing and like not understanding that if you put this if you are not instilling a foundation that is going to evolve and develop into the desired outcome, kind of understanding how the hair is going to lock around that pattern and all the different patterns that someone may be putting in, why or why not, that may not be advisable. So you have, okay, here. What did I say? Appropriately more, categorize more appropriately more. I don't know what my chicken scratch note says, but understanding the process goes into this next point. I'll probably circle back around to that because a couple more things I want to say about the locking process, which would then be the hallmarks of a true loctician. We understand? Loctician. Some people don't like using the word stylist who are in the industry because they're like, I'm a professional. I'm not just going to give you a style. Like, I understand the process. There's processes in achieving a result. When you're talking about a locked and matted hair, there is a whole entire process. And if you're putting in a foundation or you're not understanding that is going to go through a process and what that process entails, you cannot truly call yourself a knowledgeable person in that process. So then the terminology needs to change, right? So the third point is following the methods and techniques required for the outcome. 1 + 1 does not equal 3, right? But if I do, like, if I'm putting in a really nice style, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to evolve into the type of outcome for locks on a micro size or for the original definition of micro locks and what's needed to keep them long and consistent. You could have an intention of that, but if you're putting in the wrong formula, you're putting in the wrong ingredients to try to make an outcome, So I see things that are done where the lock will be extremely big and now they're kind of traditional size locks. And people could say whatever it is, but if you want to get technical about what something was considered micro, then it may not be exactly either way is desired, if it's on you or if it's on a person whose hair you're doing, but it may have other qualities that resemble what a microlock installation is, but it doesn't quite have the exact formula. So we got to even part it great with small boxes, but then we have all these different things going on. And oh my goodness, I saw just from the really, it was a beautiful mini braid, but then they intentionally left 4 or 5 inches out. And then, so I saw three things already, three different patterns that the hair is being asked to lock around. And then I already saw from just that installation, it was really pretty temporarily, but then I saw it, the bunching was happening right there on camera. But because the boxes were so perfect and the braids were so perfect, and the person was a DIYer, um, you and they were like my microlock install, and that's where we have so much of that that it gets so confusing for people who truly aren't like they're not invested in a school of learning the locking process. They're watching what they're seeing others do, and then it becomes confusing when they're like, oh my goodness, like the bunching and the separation and the way that the braid locks versus the way that the loose hair locks, the big massive size that is created already from that install I saw, and then the tiny square. And it just got me thinking about what were they desiring, and if they fell in love with the way a mini bracelet looks, then that they should understand that that is not necessarily the outcome. If you like little tiny, evenly consistent, you're going to have to do a different pattern because there's too much going on. And so understanding the methods and techniques required, I'll go more into it in the class and the free training that I'll put on the bottom at the end. I'll give y'all that resource. Um, and then I'll tell y'all about the fourth one. I just want to really quickly just show y'all really quick. It's theorized that some people have seen installations over the years. Let's talk about 10, 15 years ago. And they didn't understand really the pattern that was used. And they can say, that looks like little braids. That looks just like braids. That looks just like twist. Or I could do that with twist. But what I noticed is a gap in knowledge that those are not braids and those are not twists. And the reason why they evolve cylindrically and consistently from root to tip is because of the certain techniques that were taught that would just make it a streamlined process. You would never have from the installation into the process of maintenance. And if someone wants to take this seriously as a business or as a profession, it would be a good idea to really understand that process. And then when people start to try to do different ones to appease, you don't, you, I feel like a professional sets the standard, not necessarily with someone you fill in the gap of knowledge. So if someone really loves these installation picks, which wasn't, this is the new thing. Installation picks weren't so beloved a long time ago. I'll show y'all some of my post installation picks because I don't have installation picks because it was not something I wanted to capture. I was like, I am not capturing this. I felt like I had like plucked chicken, like I had sprouts. I was like, this is not. And I'm so glad that I had support with a professional saying, well, this is the start of a process, but this is not your finished look. And you're going to be patient because I saw people walking around with finished looks. There was no Instagram or anything at the time I started mine. My hair is exclusive Microlocs, by the way, not Sister Locks either. So I wasn't going on a Sister Lock site. I was literally looking at people walking in streets, looking at my locticians clients who had their hair done for years, and I was looking at what I wanted. So that's what I measured her work against. Not, I didn't know what her installations looked like. So now it's flipped somewhat. A decade and a half later, almost 2 decades later. My hair is 17 years this January 2nd. And it's such a different world. And I don't know if it's necessarily for the better for some people. I think it can be for the better if people understand, use the information to help them gain more knowledge and fill in the gaps of what's needed to really have refined results or what they're looking for versus a lot of saturation of really pretty pictures that don't explain a process or support a process. And that's where we kind of get a lot of money being lost, a lot of people wasting, getting reinstall after reinstall, trying to find someone, then it becomes much more negative process. It doesn't have to be, right? So it a process, which is the fourth point of being patient. You absolutely have to be patient um, in this process, in any lock process, right? So I don't really share these, y'all. But when Jessica, so once there was a girl named Jessica that lived in Brooklyn, New York. She didn't know she wanted sister locks. She wanted them little small locks. And I struggled. I struggled because I was like, I'm used to putting in hair. I'm used to adding hair to my head, and and I was way smaller and younger then, but I always felt like my face was too fat. And so I went on vacation. Let me see, when was this? This was December. No, I can't remember when that was, y'all. This was maybe a year or two later. This is in Puerto Rico. So my hair was locking. Um, this definitely was within the first 6 months. This is in Manhattan. If y'all remember not the Blue Note, but there's another spot down the street. And I was sitting in there and I was like, Lord, let me go out and figure out what to do with my hair. And I just kind of like clipped it back. And this was 5 or 6 months in. And, I just had to be patient with this process. But it wasn't, I was forced to embrace it. But child, being used to added hair was my thing. And then I decided, I was at the bus stop. That's when I was doing my events in Brooklyn. Of those who know my brothers, I love Sisters with Natural Hair, Naturally Beautiful Hair Care events. I just had to be patient. And the process, that's why I always want to hyper focus on attention to detail, because that consistency in sizing, I had colored ends. The colored ends were way more fragile. They definitely shed out naturally, but it didn't, they shed out naturally, but I'll say on some hair textures, they can become a little bit of a problem. I have to have more attention. Ooh, that was some event where I did, but you want to have this process. And that was when I was featured in A Sophisticate's Black Hair. That's when I started to love it. I started to have more flexibility with style. But absolutely, that everything that you do at the foundation level will make your journey, your transition much easier. That was my 30th birthday. Whoa, I'm old, huh? Wait, that was a while ago. And then I started doing the photo shoots, and I found this picture floating around on so many Microloc things back in the day when I was starting to really push Microlocs out. I was using this picture a lot, but this is about 4 or 5 years in. So as you can see from like the first month to the years down the line, I don't think there should be any time where you find it getting worse. Right. It should all just kind of be coming together. Even if you have colored ends or things going on. I hadn't even trimmed my hair ever up until year 13. But every style will pop. Your hair can be healthy. I want people to, that was when I came back out of my hiding. I crawled out of my cave and I tried to come back like boom in 2019. And before I trimmed my hair, I'd actually trimmed it. And then that was like 2 years ago. And then this is more recent. And that was last week or a couple of days ago. So it's definitely a journey. It's definitely a process. But you can have your very best result. I encourage people to, once again, the what you put into this process, as far as the energy, the patience, the time, putting in the work of, if you need to invest, is going to pay out, right? Every move that I made, I had to take a risk, and I just led with, I was able to see the results, at least from the person who trained me and the person who did my hair. And that really helped me keep going. But I tell y'all, there's times I was just like, it is a process. I'm gonna remove this right quick. There, you are not old. You look amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I tell people I'm 44. I'll be 45 this year. Yeah. And some of those pictures, I started my hair when I was 28. So, 28, social worker. I told some of y'all I was like really struggling with loving my hair and myself, and so um, I'm transparent about that. I was in school of social work, and I was in Columbia University, which you might know is a predominantly white Ivy League environment, and I was really struggling with my hair. So when I went through went through the process, I was like, yeah, going through a lot. And so I speak from that. But also, like I said, I speak on if any part of the process was, if I felt like it was intentionally done, like to just grab my money. I knew it wasn't going to happen because I kind of did a little bit of due diligence on my loctician, but I just empathize for the people that have gone through the process where they weren't supported or where they didn't have quite the information, or those who took it upon themselves to do it yourself. Kudos to you. Kudos to you, because even as much as I had my naturally beautiful hair care business already, I wasn't going to do my own hair. Um, but you can still have really great results doing your own hair. So these points again apply to that. Number one, pay attention to detail. Two, understand the lock process. Understand the lock process, please. Please follow the methods and techniques to get you to that desired outcome. Um, let me put a little. Hold on. Let me take a sip of my tea so I can um, say this in a nice way, because not everybody. There's some people who are different. Some people like a messier look. Some people like a free form look. Some people like a refined look, but they want to do messy styles. Like, I don't know, this combination. But if I just speaking for me and anyone who can relate, if you like a little bit more refined look and keep the end strength, and then you like uniformity and longevity, those are the people that I speak to. So not everybody likes that. But even if you don't like ultra refinement and the consistency and the quality, I still think you deserve strength, and you deserve not to have your hair pulled out really hard, or being able to maintain it in a way that's not going to be painful for you. And when people are trying to, when I hear this misconception that if something has a small grid and it's small and tiny, and whatever foundation they put in is automatically Microlocs, and I don't agree. They're going, it depending on the method and the pattern, it can be huge, and it can also be really problematic. But they might end up looking just more like traditional locks, and that's fine too. But it's not, if you're doing a certain technique that most microlock foundations utilize, you really, really do need to have knowledge and understanding of how to be able to maintain that in the least damaging, most effective way, including basic knowledge on repair and refinement that is going to make that process smooth and easy. It should be no much more pain than someone just, because there are people that are tender-headed, so no matter what you do, they're going to feel. But it should never hurt, right? The process should never. Thanks for your transparency, for sharing your story. Thank you. You're welcome. And so I'm going to share with y'all one free resource that I really, really love. And I'm going to put that link up on the screen. And sometimes you really, truly would do better with a different type of lock. All right. And it's okay. There's this big hyper sensationalism of my gosh. It's so funny because I'll pull up this. Y'all, let me show y'all. Don't judge me. I cried a lot because I'm fine with the clip now, but there was such a part of my life where I did not look at this video, and because it got so much on YouTube from a Sister Lock Coalition. But now a lot of people are like, okay, so I did some video. I'm gonna pull up this one in a minute.
Hi, this is Jessica Marshall of Naturally Beautiful Hair Care and Official Microloc brand.
It's a little glitchy, so I'm gonna pause it for a second while I pull up the thing. I'm gonna play that in a second. But here, this is where you're gonna go if you want to know what type of locks are good for you. But this video is old. Okay, this video is it's not my first YouTube, but it's like when I was making traction on YouTube, being one of the only talking about microlocks. Can you imagine what that must have looked like? As much information as popped out since, to be talking about microlocks and getting all this heat from sister locks. Like I literally had to fight for y'all to be talking. It's crazy. I'm gonna try to find this link. It's not coming up right here. Oh, here it is. So you're gonna go to lockquiz.com if you want to know what locks are best for you. Before I play this video real quick, because previously, at the time I was even recording this video, I think 2010 or 2009, or I can't remember the year. Maybe it was 2011. And I was there were sister locks, traditional locks, and then like freeform, whatever else. But now there's, what am I gonna say? Traditional. So when I was looking for smaller locks, I was inspired by sister locks, absolutely. And once I figured out that I wasn't getting technical sister locks, I started really talking about it. But there were some things that were really great for me to know when I was on my journey, because I knew that I didn't really want my locks larger, but and I'm very happy with the size they are. But there's some people who might want them bigger, or they might want something slightly different, and you don't necessarily have to go this same route. You don't necessarily have to go this microlock route, right? So when you take this quiz, it'll really help determine what it helps people. I found that the feedback has been really great, and I was really surprised at the accuracy. There's key questions in there that are gonna ask you, and be honest. And you can sometimes take it a couple of times, because if you take it a few times, um, you'll find it. Even if you change a couple of things, if you answer honestly, it's gonna keep giving you your best type of locks for you. Okay, so that's a free quiz for you. And I don't really have to play this whole video, but I go in there and I talk. This video is just basically talking about how microlocks were not another word for sister locks, and everyone got so upset. But it's not. The sister locks is its own brand, and so I had to explain. And even to this day, I hear some people try to explain the difference. Well, this is one of the first and only videos on YouTube at the time, because I was branding microlocks. I was explaining the differences. So if you ever do want to look at it, you can go on my YouTube channel. You can go on this channel, and depending on which YouTube channel you're looking from, Jessica, Jessica CEO and BHC. So I'm on two different YouTube channels right now. I'm on the Microlock Mastery one as well. It might be on there as well, but you'll be able to kind of hear. But basically, I was summarizing some of the differences, and a lot of it with the tool and the pattern, etc. So this is just a little flashback I found. I'm going to give you one final resource before you go. So you got this one down at the bottom, the Facebook group. You got the lock quiz. Just double checking. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take off the lock quiz. Okay. And then let me switch the banner down, and this is the free webinar down at the bottom. Now see if this buffered.
I hold the trademark
Oh
under the
yeah, that's what I
U.S.
was.
Patent and
Trademark.
Trademark Attorney's Office.
Hold on. I was talking about the trademark I was acquiring from Microlocs, but let me go down here for a second. See.
Is that so?
It's it's too glitchy. I knew I tried to take a risk playing a video. It's too glitchy. But that's a good one to find out some information, to kind of go back into the history of how Microlocs began, and some of the differences. But yeah, so absolutely if you captured those 4 things, you should definitely have guaranteed success with your results. Don't, I think this is an investment of time, energy, money, and resources that I don't want you to waste, if you really truly want the best results. Thank y'all for listening. I hope you have a great day. We're gonna ride out with the anthem, and we're gonna listen to let's ride out with Microloc Mastery Anthem. All right, y'all have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Bye.
Crafting strengths, we make them shine, interwoven every time. Strength and beauty intertwined. Mastery, a frame in line. From our roots to the tip we weave. No twist or coils, we believe. Each lock strong, it won't deceive. Microloc dreams we achieve. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe. Every strand feels so crafting strands, we make them shine, interwoven every time. Strength and beauty intertwined. Mastery, a frame in line. From our roots to the tip we weave. No twist or coils, we believe. Each lock strong, it won't deceive. Microloc dreams we achieve. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe. Every strand feels so alive. Interwoven we arrive. Together we will thrive. Precision with our hands we know. Through the journey watch us grow. Interwoven gentle flow. Strong and steady watch it glow. No braids or twists, just our way. Microlocs here, they will stay. Every strand a work of art, interwoven from the heart. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe. Every strand feels so alive. Interwoven we arrive. Together we will thrive. Precision with our hands we know. Through the journey watch us grow. Interwoven gentle flow. Strong and steady watch it glow. No braids or twists, just our way. Microlocs here, they will stay. Every strand a work of art, interwoven from the heart. Microloc mastery, it's our vibe. Every strand feels so alive. Interwoven we arrive. Together we will thrive.